Now, for instance, there is a whole fine-tuned universe field of thought, which is now generally accepted, even by I'd say the British academic community, which is heavily, at the pinnacle, heavily hardline atheistic. But across the 19th century, the different books written about fine-tuned universe. Now, fine-tuned is not precisely what I'm saying, although I agree with it. I'm saying a potential-driven universe. Okay, but obviously, potential-driven universe will be fine-tuned. It's fine-tuned to achieve potential. Okay, but they're looking at strictly from a laboratory testable perspective, which is what scientists do. I write metaphysics, and I'm not bounded by laboratory experiment. I'm bounded by what can be proven inductively, which means all the evidence points towards it. There's not one single piece of evidence countering it. So in order for my theory to be true, all the billions of data points across Wikipedia and encyclopedias have to all be consonant with the theory, and there can be no exception. It's similar to proving someone guilty of a murder by circumstantial evidence. All the evidence to point one direction, and you can't have anything to the contrary. It's not as ironclad as a regular scientific proof, but the universe is unbounded. It's hard for us to put the universe in a laboratory. It's hard for us to put the genesis point, meaning the genesis point, the earliest spark of creation, in the test tube. That's why philosophers of metaphysics were created. We may want to kill them, but that's why they're created. Fine-tuned universe, that the universe is fine-tuned for life, was written about across the 1900s, and sort of crescendoed in 1999, a book by Martin Rees, now Sir Martin Rees, Just Six Numbers. And he makes the case that 6 constants had to be fine-tuned for there to be the possibility of life. And since that number 6 keeps evolving, I checked Wikipedia this morning in preparation for this panel, and the current figure is 26. Had to be 26 constants all lined up, like to many, many decimal points, for there to be the possibility of life. The possibility of life still does not get us to Matt. It just gets us to a single, maybe single-cell organism. It's a long way from that to get us to Matt. Matt's a complex creation. He loves, he thinks, he gets angry, he plots, he schemes sometimes. We don't tell anybody about that. He's thinking forward. He's thinking this and that. He's thinking emotionally, intellectually. He's rocking and rolling on many levels. He's dealing with betrayals. People let him down. People are friendly. People are loyal. People support him. He's juggling many things, and he's advancing forward. So Matt is more than just life. He's a very complex, sophisticated entity.
I could ask a follow-up question. I think it's maybe in a slightly different direction, but given the size of the universe, I think there's something like 1 billion trillion stars. What if conscious life has already evolved well past our point on a different planet somewhere, just theoretically, like say 1 billion years ago? Are we still as humans a quantum jump as, when we came into being, even if we're far behind, theoretical civilization elsewhere?
Well, you can ask another question. What would happen if our universe stopped? Would another universe come in its place? And are we that universe? So really we don't know. Even as a person like myself, I just don't know the answer. But I would propose that it would reboot and it'll keep trying to advance it as far as it can. If it's truncated, and it'll reboot again. The ad from Geico, we're Geico, this is what we do. If you want insurance, this is what we do. If you're universe, that's what you do. You reboot. Because you're all primed for advance on all fronts. So, the consciousness question, we don't know, it's not so simple to evolve to Matt. We take it for granted because a lot of people who sort of look like you, sort of seem like you, right, on the planet. we sort of take it for granted, But objectively, it's quite incredible. It's beyond a miracle. There's no word to really define it, even though we take it for granted. Now, I had an informal conversation with a friend of mine, and we both agreed, which other people had, if there was an entity in the universe, higher level consciousness than us, they would already have enslaved us. But we just don't know the answer. We're all egocentric, so we like to believe we're the highest level consciousness, and it's hard for me to divorce myself from that, from egocentrism. It's just frankly hard to do it. There's a whole, industry out there, SETI, search for extraterrestrial. I would not put too much money on that search, but I mean that's getting beyond my area. I think at this moment in time, good possibility, we are the highest level consciousness, and at this particular moment in time, I think we would have known about it if we were not.
It's the Fermi paradox, I think.
Whereas
everybody.
Yeah, I think we would have heard for it by now. And if I were them, I would not necessarily be pinging out there, because be careful what you wish for.
Yeah,
like don't wake up the monster. Yeah. Don't wake up the monster. So that sort of answers your question, right? We can move on. Okay, thanks, Ms. Shira.
Yes, it's funny that you should mention ego, because my question is about ego.
Right.
Is ego what prevents mankind from reaching their full potential? Is that the sole factor?
It's probably both.
Yeah.
I'm winging it here, because I don't really deal with ego at all. But we're talking, as I said, having a conversation. It probably what drives him forward, and probably on some levels limits him a little bit. It's true for all of us. It's true for me also. It's what drives me forward. Sometimes it gets my way. On net balance, it's a positive. And I don't believe in the expression sublimate your ego, always sublimate your ego. I don't believe that. No, you have to be aware of it, factor it in. But ego is strong, in my opinion, ego is strong. It drives us forward. It makes us get past obstacles and trauma and distractions and nonsense. Like New York is great, but you better have a strong ego in New York to advance forward. It's great, New York, you better have a strong ego. Because, strong enough ego, and you can be attuned to feedback. If you want to be close to friends, hints that cool it. You may want to cool it a little bit. Is that sort of addresses your question, right?
Yeah.
Follow up, please.
No, to be honest, I feel a little unqualified on this panel. I don't have a degree in physics or philosophy.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
So I'm sorry if this is a little out of left field,
right.
but I'm really curious about the future promotion of your theory. We live in this age of social media, and everything seems to have a brand, everyone. So what is the brand of the quest for potential? What does it look like? Is it for academics? Is it for people, mankind? Is it for people who only understand scientific foundations?
It's in the realm what I call selling an idea.
Okay.
In my other life, my day job, I sell very expensive jewelry, rare jewels, like $300,000 average sale. Okay, when we get away with it. In this realm, I sell an idea. I'm selling one idea. And I joke around, they're both equally challenging, but equally doable. But you better have a great product. So first you have to have a great product, and then you have to push it out there. Now, having sort of gotten away with it in rare jewels, I've been endeavoring, actually simultaneously, they're both on parallel tracks. I've been on both endeavors since roughly age 32, both tracks. And so I tell my staff, first you have to have red steak, and then you sell the sizzle. But you must have red steak, you must have a great product, if you really want to go global, so to speak. Now, in both cases, my rare one jewels, we have a unique firm. We have no direct competition for what we do. And here I have no direct competition. I like situations I have no direct competition. That it gets the juices going in me. I like this. I like this situation. Because you have more room to maneuver. The downside is that people say, what are you talking about? What is this? I've never seen it before. I've never heard it before. I know what you talk about. So it's a pluses and minuses. So it takes time to ramp up. If you have a new paradigm, and my little pro bono publishing company called New Paradigm Matrix, new paradigms are a beast of their own, and now, yes, why are you here, this panel? We're trying to wedge into it from a different direction. I have the books. I've had conferences. I have many articles, 100+ articles about it. We have 1.5 million plus database, 1.5 million academics plus 1 million non-academics. Email lists. We built it, meaning we invested heavily in it. Nobody has it, frankly. Nobody has anything like it that we know of. And twice a year we send out to 1.5 to 2.5 million the latest articles, yada yada. Third party. So I'm answering your question, right? We're trying to, so to speak, communicate an idea. My gamble is that I want to plant seeds really for the next generation of authors and academics. Some of the current generation has to literally die off because they're too invested in the old theories. Their awards, their lecture series, their honors, they're heavily invested in old theories, whatever it is. And they're not about to yield to new paradigms so quickly. I wish them well, I wish them life and success. But it's the young Turks who I'm hoping will bite into this. Because you need more than one person doing it. You need 100 people. If in the 100 people, in 50 years you need 1,000, 10,000 people. And then you can shake the whole planet. And say, but my mission is to, so to speak, plant the seeds in a clear way. This is what we know. This is what we don't know. This is what we know with pretty high level certitude. There's a gap here or there. So, frankly, I tell you frankly, initially I thought I write the books, the whole world will applaud. But it's not so simple. Not so simple. And you're lucky if you don't have your head removed from your body by those who are in positions of entrenched power in the different communities. I had no clue what I was up against. I'll tell you frankly, I was brought up in a modern Orthodox Jewish household where the power of ideas was felt to be supreme. But it doesn't work that way. It does not work that way. It's the power of power, which tends to reign in the short term. But in the long term, the power of an idea will reign supreme. You have to live so long, or you have to launch it so others will pick up on it. Fair? Okay.